In this video, we present a demonstration of a new system called EventPad on the VAST Mini Challenge 1 dataset. The system enables users to analyze multivariate event sequences through selections, rules, and aggregations. No pre-processing of the data was necessary and could directly be loaded in the system. The sequence view shows an overview of all events as sequences of glyphs. To study daily patterns in the dataset, sequences are grouped by car and day ID. Users can scroll and zoom to gain more insight in the data. For the discovery of patterns, users can create rules to highlight event properties that are of interest. Let's start by creating a rule that colors all entrance events in the data green. Double-clicking a glyph results in a pop-up, where users can specify constraints over one or more attributes. For the right-hand side, users can design their own glyph. Rules can be toggled on or off to study their effect. Sequences can be stacked on top of each other to study frequent patterns. Let's inspect a rule set where entrances are marked in green, ranger stops in yellow, campings in orange, and general gates in blue. We can select event sequences of interest to study their differences in an icicle plot. To find overlap between sequentially similar but structurally different sequences, users can align selections of interest using multiple sequence alignment. This now reveals 4 daily patterns in the data, namely vehicles entering, leaving, and driving through the reservoir, along with ranger traffic. Let's inspect the sequences that drive through the reservoir using regular expressions. We can use the scented widgets to filter sequences over attributes of interest. Inspection of attribute values in the data reveals that rangers do not exit the reservoir and large trucks only drive through it. Let's save these sequences for further investigation. According to the map, visitors are only allowed to pass ranger stops 0 and 2. Selecting the larger truck traffic shows that this is not always the case. We can use scented span sliders to focus on these sequences only. Sorting the sequences by selection reveals that there is a 4-axle truck driving through passages he's not allowed to. Closer inspection shows that these trucks drive only overnight on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Searching for camping events in these sequences shows that only 2 and 3-axle cars and trucks visit these campings. To gain better insight in the popularity of traveling routes, let's inspect these routes using a more detailed rule set. Inspecting the different entrances shows that vehicles are driving too fast between entrance 0 and 3. Some vehicles entered and left the reservoir in less than 5 seconds. Let's inspect some patterns over larger periods in time. To discover patterns over multiple days in the reservoir, let's create a rule that groups all enter and exit event sequences in a new glyph. This rule indicates that in between 2 entrance events, no other entrance event is allowed. Let's now create a rule where we filter on purple glyphs. This shows that most of the vehicles enter the reservoir at most once, and some don't. The longest sequence corresponds to a 2-axle truck visiting the reservoir multiple times. Sorting the sequences by selection and disabling the filter rule, we can see that this vehicle shows a lot of repetition. Inspection of the sequence with a more detailed rule set shows that this vehicle always travels between camping 4 and entrance 4. To find other patterns in car types, we can use an alternative rule set, where we color events based on their car type. Sorting the sequences alphabetically shows that in almost every category there are rare long sequences, all interesting enough to be inspected individually. This concludes the demo of the EventPad system on the VAST Data Mini Challenge. Thanks for watching.